apologetic about what is ours, and number two, do things for purposes, and things come together. Shulchan Aruch, another Din Torah, fascinating. Alexander Volko. So once again, now the Egyptians brought a court case. Let's say this is literally again, you think it's new things that nations of the world bring legal proceedings against the Jewish people. It's not true. It's not true. The Africans did it. The Africans did it. And we'll say again, like who led the things of gender. Just passage there, see how the world circuit, right? Who was at the forefront of the claim of the argument? Just pointing out to see certain things, they just are the way that they are. And while it's nice to think that the world changes, it really does. The only thing that changes is us. The world very much stays the same, especially in its hatred for God. So, overwhelming. Next court case. Who else now from the Alexander the Great? Egypt. Alibon. Harenu Omer, Ari Omer, Bashem Nasan Sina Amadene, Chaiba Shilum, Tinubanu Kazan is actually the Egyptians got the body one second. It's actually pretty great, right? So the Pasuk said, when we left Mitzrayim, the Pasuk says, in the Yom coming up to Pesach, the Pasuk says, Hashem gave the favor of Klal Yisrael in the eyes of the Egyptians by Yashilum. Now, by Yashilum literally means they borrowed. There's different ways to interpret that word. Some say they asked, right? Others say it means borrowed. That the Egyptians are clearly coming with the idea that it means borrowed, which means Klal Yisrael borrowed a whole lot of silver and gold from the Egyptians. So the Egyptians say, so happy to have lent it to you, right? We'd like our stuff back. We'd like our stuff back. Okay. So the Gemara says, I'm going to give them the Sisa. So the Gemara Sisa says, look, I'm going to the initial say that the other anymore. The Alexander, so the Gemara Sisa says, do me a favor. It says to the rabbis, I'll deal with this. Give me a choice, I'll deal with it. And we have 20 once again, and had your Shabbat and exact them. Say if I'm successful. I'm sorry, if they are the group that victorious. If they win the case over me, so the nice again, it's not a big deal because people would just say, it was Seesaw, he's a head kill. He's just a guy. Like the Imani and but if I am successful, Torah to make sure I really exact them. And ultimately again, the glory will be given not to me, but the glory will be given ultimately again to our first part. That's the shows all three down the line. Okay, so the Seesaw shows up the basement and he adjudicates the case with the Egyptians. Okay, I'm allowed. The Egyptians, what's your eye? What's your proof? I'm allowed. I said, the Egyptians told you by Ashilu. He borrowed stuff from us. So, okay, do you know you want to set back? So he says, I'm alive. I need no Abi Lachamraya Torah. I was over here for Torah. Moshe b'nei Yisrael, Asher Yashem Mitzrayim, Shloshim Shana v'Arba Me'os Shana. The Jews were in Egypt for 430 years. For 430 years, remember again, that's the clock from Akedas Yitzchak. So they were 430 years. Tinu Zanu Schar Avodah, Shal Shishim B'Bov, Sheshibaretem Mitzrayim, Shloshim v'Arba Me'os Shana. So, Korean says, have no problem. If you want to make an accounting, how do you make an accounting? You say we owe you the gold and silver that we borrowed. Okay, you also owe us back wages for 600,000 men who worked for 430 years. Well, just let's do some friends accounting over here, right? Let's go. Let's settle up. Let's settle up. Back wages for 430 years for 500,000 people, and we're happy to go ahead and settle up with you. So what happens? So then Alexander Volko, that's your Tshuva. Alexander says, what do you have to say? To know about the rest of the days when we'll come back. So that's what the show says. It's like Allah and Islam. That's the look up to Tshuva. So ultimately, again, they search for 3 days, they couldn't find an answer. We need to start saying, we change the rules, we change the tools, we left behind the fields, right? The lady fields, lady finger, the old Shosh, and the size up, and it was just the kind of like this. The Jews have better for this. What's that? It's not point of familiar. Why is it that both Africans right? Come back, be mad, right? And say, you know what, you're not going to answer us. So I would say this is the difference. At the end of the day, when you're arguing for us, if you don't have an answer, you come back and you could say, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer. When you recognize that what you're doing is smoking mirrors, and only an attempt to rob people of what is rightfully theirs, you don't even have this backbone to show back up as much. And that's what people are saying here. These weren't real rates. Right? Because if you're real, okay, what's that? In every court case, someone wins, someone loses. That's the way it works. Again, all you want is just a fair shake. Recognizing, you might win, you might lose. But you can't even show back up, and you can't even show your face again, and you can't even follow back up, that shows the emptiness of your claims to begin with. So profound. You want to know that Shulman, Abbas, Bogdan Yishmael, that is incredible. Okay, so I'll say this is crazy. Every time you jump on the bandwagon over here, so who comes? Sons of Yishmael, but it's Kira. Rodman in Israel, they have judges focus. What's Yishmael's play? What's that? I don't know. Eretz Canaan Shabbat. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Right, let's do this. Right, so the Yishmael say, Eretz Canaan is ours. So what happened? That was interesting. Yishmael comes with a different claim. They say Eretz Yisrael Shabanu is Shalachem. Right? So it's interesting. Yishmael in this context says, we're not saying it's solely ours, we're saying it's also ours. Now this is very different, right? Africans think all ours. Right? United slaves, like Yisrael, which I wanted back, which is why we wanted money. Right? At the end of the day, so it's interesting, Yishmael, we're going to see why Yishmael's doing this. So Yishmael says, we're not claiming it's all ours, we're just claiming the partners in it. The partners in it, why? So the Gemara says, it said the Eotov is Yishmael ben Abraham. So again, what's Yishmael's claim? By the way, Yishmael's claim is not a bad claim. Right? What's Yishmael's claim? We're also children of Abraham. We're also children of Abraham. The land was given to Abraham. We are the children of Abraham. So why should we not have a share in Eretz Canaan? So once again, I don't know if you this is not comes. So nobody knows just what but now so once again, these are the Sisa. Carol, let me do this. I'll adjudicate it. I'll argue it. Maybe that's funny. I'm had no Shabbat and exactly. Being Ani Anatef or some. I'm a Lahan Torah's no Sharabin exactly. This has to, right? So ultimately, again, so it says if I lose, they defeated the covenant. If I win, it's Torah that has won the victory. So what happened? Amrulahem, may I come out to the Raya? So he says to the Yishmael, what's your ayah? What's your proof? Amrulahem, Torah. So again, we just quoted it. We are also children of Avraham. I'll bring about Shnemar, Parshat and Parshat Chayisah. Vayitin Avram is Parshat Lo Yitzchak. Avram gave everything over to Yitzchak. And Avram gave, in fact, the children of the concubines, the naked Torah, he gave them matanos. And then it says, he sent them away. He sent them away. So the Gemara says, Nasan Abram, so the Gemara says, Nasan Abram, Ab Shenasan Agatan, the Barat Bechayim, the Shigers and the Alzeh, Creation was set Alzeh. If a father gives gifts to a son and then sends that son away, does the sent away son have any claims on the primary son? Of course not. Essentially what the Pharisees are saying, what they're talking about. If I have a great Yishmael and the other sons of the concubines, gifts, and then what did he do? Send them away. And what does that mean? He said, Hebron, this is yours. I love you. I do love you. Right after we saw before in the Gemara with the Akedah. Amnon says, I have two sons. I love them both. Yishmael, I love you. And that's why I'm giving you stuff. But now I'm sending you away. You have a different destiny than Yitzchak. So the Gemara says as follows. My matanos, by the way, one of the matanos, right? Ultimately, again, he gave them sorcery. So the Gemara says, therefore, again, an interesting nuance I want to point out. What's fascinating about that story is the realization ends there. Right? It's not like the Egyptians say, Yishmael says, we need 3 days in order to come back. You can hear that Basisa's raya was so compelling. It was like a mic drop. That was it. That was the end of the story right then and there. Yes, your father is the son of Avraham Avinu. And Avraham loved your father as well. And Avraham gave your father gifts. He gave him stuff, and then he sent them away. When a father sends a son away, that means He doesn't want the second son to have anything to do with the first son. Hashem did not want Yitzchak, Avram did not want Yitzchak and Yishmael. Actually, remember, Avram did want Yitzchak and Yishmael to go up together. Sarah didn't. Yishmael was repeating, and Hashem said to Avram, listen to Sarah. So therefore, again, to give the piece, it says, you have no Caleb and Yishmael. You have Yishmael. You have no Caleb in Eretz Yisrael. That's the end of the story. If you notice by this version of the story, Yishmael accepts it. There's no, let us get back to you, and the story is over. Absolutely incredible. All right, folks, you know what, we'll have to, this might be a new back. Okay, we're fine. I'm going to stop over here for today. Again, can we constantly go any faster? We can't go any faster. There's too much we can stop earlier. I was going to stop over here for today. Go up, we'll pick up a mirror that's on the bottom of tomorrow. More incredible.
5 a.m. to 8 p.m. 887 South Anna. That is the White House restaurant. And everything you donate is going right to those kids and to feed those children. So they don't have to, eat a bag of chips or a candy bar.
What else do you have?
They cooks hot pasta and sauce for all these people. 25,000 meals a week. It's a lot. I mean, they can do it for $1. I don't know how he does it, but they put together a meal for $1. I think it's all donated pasta and sauce.
All right, so good morning. Let us begin by thanking all of our sponsors for this morning share. To thank our commentary sponsors for Kavshin Day. Hey, the Phillips Mishpach of Eretz for dedicating all the Sherman Drushes this year as exclusive for Besoros Tovos around Israel. Commentary sponsors for the month of Hadar. Abalim Latova Tari and Steve, in loving memory of Tari's father, Dr. Harry Khan, C. Hirsch, Ben Yosef Cohen, and the Ziv of Levin and Berman families in memory of Mr. William Ziv Ben Shmuel Yisrael Zichron, and marriage by Talmud Torah. All of the Neshama Slavin Aliyah, the families in the Chama, all those who were forced to have been called in Israel, Hashem Shemer, Hashem bring home all of our hostages and allow our holy soldiers to be successful to call Maaseh. So with that, let us begin. Today's daf is Tzaddik Aleph.
Dog, I had this dream that Michael Jordan was trying to shake me down for $10,000. He was chasing me everywhere. I was doing a really good job of hiding. It was cray. Michael Jordan, yeah, those fucking yellow eyes. I know those yellow eyes from anywhere. And I kept saying to him, dog, $10,000 is like nothing to you. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, dog, get over it.
Many things in life. One thing he never ever received was Truma. Why? Because Truma only goes into effect when you go to Eretz Yisrael. Aaron never made it into Eretz Yisrael. So at the end of the day,
The fuck is this?
That ultimately again give Truma to Aaron. So remember again, it must be that the pasuk means that it's gonna be. So the Gemara says the very Gemara goes like very short time. Aaron. What does it mean? We have to give Truma to someone like Aaron. Meaning what? Ma Aaron Chaver here. Just like Aaron is a Chaver, right? Just like Aaron again is a Talmid Chacham, and therefore knows how to go ahead and deal with Truma in the appropriate way. So in general, you have to give Tablet Kabir. On a Bishwa Rahmani, on a Yosan. The nice shade is that you can't give to a Kohen who is ignorant. Shenemar, the arm Yoshi, Shalai, all states, Monas will come with the by Yachas, because Yachsuku, Taras Hashem. Because again, the way the Pasuk phrases it is, you give the Kohanim Shuvah, that they should be strong in the Torah of the Ribono Shalom. Machaz, Kalamaksik, Taras Hashem. Whoever is holding the Rodi again, the Torah of the Ribono Shalom, Yesh Shalom in us has a portion in Shuvah. She'ina Maksik, Taras Hashem. And whoever is not holding strong in the Torah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in Lo Manas, does not have a portion. And I will say, as we're going to see, this is not as much punitive as it is just very important because Truma has a lot of details, Truma has a lot of obligations, and this use of Truma, that's not along with it. Rabbi gives truma to a kohen who's in Amaretz. It's as if he gives it to a lion. Ma'ari is something Doris something in a very sofa. When you put food in front of a lion, there's a something. Will it tear it apart and eat it or not? Kohen Amaretz, something ochlo taro, something ochlo truma. So to again, you give something truma to a kohen Amaretz, something. Will he eat it in a state of ritual purity? Will he eat it in a state of ritual impurity? But Yochanan says, "Afkoring no misa." If one gives truma to a kohen Amaretz, causing the death of that kohen. How is that? So Shnei Amar, Umesu, both Yechanu. As mentioned before, that misuse of truma results in death penalty. You give truma to a kohen who doesn't know how to treat it with the appropriate safety. It's just the whole one is causing death to that particular kohen. You even cause the kohen to violate the Shnei. They see also of an Ashba Acholas Kachein. So what's really fascinating about all of this is just a generally interesting motif. How, again, in these cases, you would think that bringing truma to the kohen, of course, is an objective chesed. So giving truma to the kohen is only a chesed. It's only something good if the kohen knows what to do with it. If he doesn't know how to handle the gift, then not only is it not a chesed, but in fact it's a liability for him. Tremendously so in life as well. About it can be sort of parenting, about giving children things. It's a beautiful bracha for a parent to give children something as long as once the child knows how to handle it. To give a child something, it's a big sort of technology. So in many areas, to give a child something that is objectively right, but you don't know what to do with it. It's not the political gift, but it's creating tremendous liability. It's more like, Hanya, somebody says, United States missing that part. Where do we find, again, a biblical allusion to Gas Mason? Shinei Amar, the Gana Kimosi species is very interesting. The Itam Lasis Lohem Es Eretz Kinan. The passage says, and I will uphold my covenant with them to give to them. Lahem, to them, right? Amar Elo Lahem. This is very interesting. The passage doesn't say it. The Baruch doesn't say, no, I'm upholding my covenant to give you lachem. Rather, it says lahem, to them. Who is the them? If you look at Rashi on the right side, about halfway down, Elo Lahem, a little more than halfway down. Elo Lahem, the Master Shetiach HaKadosh Baruch Hu La'avon Seinu, Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov, She'ifei Lahem Eretz Yisrael. So if you Lahem Nitna, Halo L'Mehem Nitna. So the pasuk makes it sound like such an interesting way to read the pasuk that again, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu was talking to Am Yisrael who was alive at the time, it would use the lashon of what? Of lachem, to you. Lachem means to them. Who's the them? The Gemara understands referring to Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Given Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, they were dead. They were long dead about the time of Egypt. God came into Israel. Rather, what do you see? That ultimately, again, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov will deceive Eretz Yisrael. What does that show you? Yes, amazing. So the Gemara says, yeah, fine. Let me count guys missing that Torah. Beautiful. Shalom means this. The meaning now. Who's the meaning? The meaning is like you're not the God. Someone doesn't believe now. We're going to see the terms in apicolates starting to change. What we're going to see is that we refer to different levels of heretics, or I should say, people that don't believe in certain things.
2 and 1, 2 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 3, 4 and 3, 5 and 3, 6 and 3, 7 and 3, 8 and 3, 9 and 3, 9 and 4, 10 and 4, 10 and 5, 10 and 6, 10 and 7, 10 and 8, 10 and 9, 11 and 9, 11 and 10, 12 and 10, 13 and 10, 14 and 10, 15 and 10, 16 and 10, 17 and 10, 18 and 10. That's really good. 18 and 10 is amazing. 1 and 0, 1 and 1. Oh, look at this guy's just Michael Jordan. I'm Michael Jordan's pokey. 2 and 1, 3 and 1, 3 and 2, 3, 4 and 2, 4 and 3, 4, 5 and 4, 6 and 4, 7 and 4, 8 and 4, 8 and 5, 8 and 6, 9 9 and 7,
I'm not sad, it's not.
10 and
You
7,
can rebel. When you die, the people or
10 and 8, 10 and 9,
it's not going on Moshe, but
11 and 9,
it's going on
12 and 9,
on the people. Incredible. So the Mars is Minanati. Okay, so they rejected
12 and
Next,
10,
Minanati. What's the
12 and
proof of
11, 12 and
They
12,
say, you
12 and 13, whoa, 1 and 0, 1 and 1, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 2 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 5, 3 and 6, 3 and 7, 3 and 8, 4 and 8, 5 and 8, 6 and 8, 6 and 9, 7 and 9, 7 and 10, 7 and 11,
right? That's the
8 and
value
11,
of dry bones. So that's a specific episode.
8 and 12, 8 and 13, 8 and 14, 8 and 15, 8 and 16, 8 and 17, yeah.
Consequently, represents Shir. Literally, again, that phrase, the lips of those people move. Sleep, a reference to death. Lips, they will move, meaning a reference to the idea that once again they'll speak. Because amazing. The Dilma of pushing actions for Seba Alma. So the meaning said to Yochanan, the meaning said to the meaning is the meaning is referring to the fact that sometimes the lips of the dead move in the grave. Now, when do the lips of the dead move in the grave? So the Gemara says, Yochanan is so beautiful. So beautiful. When a person dies, if someone says over a halacha, now by the way, halacha doesn't just have to be a halacha. What that means is when a person dies and someone says over a piece of their Torah in this world, the deceased's lips move in the grave. So where it says, I'm sorry.
YouTube.
First of all, this idea that when a person needs over Torah, a person needs over lessons for their families, a person needs over Yesodos that are sent over even after they are no longer alive by definition. It gives them a continued keel, a continued life, a continued eternality in this world. So a person dies, someone says over the Torah, someone says over the saying, someone says over the so the lips move in the grave. Incredible. I show what I make that. So the meaning, do not believe anything that Rabbi Rothschild said until Rabbi Rothschild gave them over the following idea. What was the following idea?
Our Sargento cheddar is held to a standard as high as your
No one gives a shit.
You can taste over 70 years of our family commitment.
That sounds disgusting.
It doesn't say Hashem is giving it over to you. Rather, what does it say? Ella, lahem, to them. So from here you see ultimately again a reference to Tchias HaMesim min HaTorah. Incredible. Once again, you're giving over to them. Who's the them? The assumption is this is Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. So from here you see an explicit allusion to this idea that Hashem did that again the dead will come back to life. Incredible. Others say, from a different passage, go say this is so beautiful. Others say that is from this passage. Now, literally translated, what does it mean? And you cling to Hashem, your God, right? Chayim kulchem hayom. So it seems to me to translate this. You will live according to today when you have food and water.
Can you describe what those look like? Just for the
Of course, they're alive today.
I love this song. This is my jam. I'm sure other people feel this way, but when I hear this music, it's so relaxing to me. It's just like we're gonna fucking chill. Really? Where?
Robbie asked of your sugar so ultimately the Romans asked the sugar what did they ask him? The United States of the foundation, we are very much as a sugar two prime questions. Number one, how do you know the subject is what to say? And number two, how do you know that Hashem knows what's going to happen? Two prime questions. I wonder if I didn't recognize that. So ultimately, again, Rabbi Rothschild it says that the answer comes to those questions from one pasuk. And the other Shalom Hashem, here's my shofar so again, when you show the kind of the pasuk, Moshe, you're going to die, become, and you're going to come back to life. So from here you see, and God knows it's two chaos and everything. He says back to it, they come out of Isaac Messiah. Okay, Moshe, it's not really the pasuk. The pasuk is that ultimately Moshe is going to die, but the come doesn't go on Moshe's resurrection. Rather, what does the come go on? Come goes on ultimately everyone that Christ are going to rebel. Under the rule, so the Shuvah said, fine, even if you say that, at least the people in your heart of your vehicle, they're not Ashas and Dios. So again, even if you don't use this concept of the relative preservation, you can at least use it for what? As a demos, as a scripture, that Hashem knows what's going to happen. Right? Because again, here Hashem is saying, Moshe, you're going to die, and when you die, God Yisrael is going to rebel. Okay, incredible. So the Gemara says, it's right, I know you're going to show me your pride. You nash the trouble, the pride listen, you're the nash of the Dios. Dios is Yochanan. Ask him, should I go to the pride? How do I know? Trouble is going to bring back the dead. How do I know that I should know what's going to happen? In fact, show faith in the Zaka, you are going to die, but you're going to turn your I'm not going to be able to see the covers that the books of the heretics and so remember again because the books of heretics said it is what right, God comes to us. They don't have every single God comes to us. Everything else is forged the Torah. Everything else is forged the Torah. So I don't know because of the Torah. Are you praying? There is no destination.
Hey, this is Rabbi from the Comedy Mothership here in Austin, Texas. We're brand new episode of Kill Tony. Get over Tony!
So let's say there is a double rush of courage. Why is it double rush? Because
You guys ready for a great night? Before we get started, here's a little bit more from the amazing sponsors that made it all possible. You guys ready to start tonight's fucking show or what? Here we go. This is it. Every single week I have two of the best guests on planet Earth. Two of the best comedians. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special one. Both two of the best comedians. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special one. Both returning guests. One of them a returning guest of the year, a multi-layered guest of the year, Hall of Famer, with another one of my favorite comedy store comics of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. You're here for a special episode of this. Special untitled is now on YouTube under Ian Edwards Stand Up. You must check in. Is a legend comedy store, super regular, and I mean, him and I have been doing the thing goddamn forever. The old bookers of the comedy store used to have us side by side all the time, 10, 15 10:30, 10:45, 11:09. So we are brothers in
Yes,
this. Welcome back
yes,
again.
amazing. What we have
Make
is
sure you check out the
serious
spread. I'm gonna put it.
What
What can I say? This guy reminds me of Dr. Phil. He reminds me of Elaine. He reminds me of Jeremy. He reminds me of me.
Green Cleopatra. Green Cleopatra and the
Got it. It's the Hall of Fame Guest of the Year, Adam Ray.
So this is not like
unarguably one of the greatest guests of all time.
Love the show. Thanks for the intro. Got it today. Shaved Red Band's back an hour before the show. And just fired up to be here, man. What a night.
It is going down the Who Is Me Theater Tour. Adam Ray's first giant theater tour, January through April. Get tickets at AdamRayComedy.com. And the final ever.
Sorry, I know that the living God.
The last ever Dr. Phil Live is happening. December 16th.
I know.
That's a real way to do your Floyd Mayweather Jr. You're like, this is my last fight. Yeah, you're gonna have to get it. It's like
everything is amazing. Incredible.
Yeah, the Rich is never coming back after this. You're gonna be putting on that fucking ball cap for the rest of your life. I'm probably gonna die.
Let's do the last one for a bit until you come call.
Until what?
Until you come call.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. Wow, one more time for Adam Ray and Andrew. Two of the best guests to ever do it, and so they 300 innocent souls signed up for the chance to get 60 seconds on this show. You know how it works. Their time is up. You hear the sound of a kitten. I mean,
the dead come back to life, they come back unclothed.
their time is up. You hear the sound of a kitten. That means they have to wrap it up then, or else they bring out the angry West Hollywood. Oh, yes. How exciting. I'm going to let this gentleman drawn on hairline.
I didn't want to say anything.
Hell yeah, this guy's so old. This guy's got a Sharpie of a haircut. Welcome, sir. He looks like he has a snappable weapon in his pocket. It's gonna be fun. While we go wrangle that first book, we have one of the greatest golden ticket winners in the history of the show here to start it off. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a brand new minute from golden ticket winner Martin Phillips, everybody. And like that, the show has
Once your profiles are complete, Tommy, we will have you apply with the following recruiting firms.
Everyone has their tell. My tell is
fascination question.
I accidentally draw all my cards and go no and anything it is I brought it to my own gun to the roulette table. Really needed to be 21.